This is PRZ 109.2 London. Welcome to the Businesswoman. I'm your host, Feyikemi Odunuga. Last week, we discussed goal setting and how to achieve them. It was established that the goal without plans is wishful thinking. Tonight, we'll discuss another aspect of how we can achieve our goals, bearing in mind that we started by setting financial goals. This led us to the plan on how to achieve these goals. One of the plans we discussed was how to attract and retain our external customers. Tonight, we'll discuss our internal customer, starting with our human resources strategy. How can we achieve these strategies? We will do that by syncing with our short, mid, and long-term goals. It is a recognized fact that most people looking to be employed would rather work in big corporations. The small business owner is going to have to get her staff from the same pool that these companies get their staff from. The HR issues of small business owners are not just about the quality and quantity of staff, but it can also be about the owners of the business themselves. I always ask the small business owner the question, why will somebody work for you? The choice of where smart employees with good degrees can work is limitless. Most times it has nothing to do with salary. There must be something about the small business that will make her leave the big corporation to work for you. So, start with the end in mind. Have a plan. The small business owner is usually her own chief human resources officer. She has to plan to the minutest detail how to attract, develop, and retain her employees. This task is daunting as a small business is the last place most people will look to for work. The SME owner therefore needs to have strategies in place for recruitment, compensation, training, succession, and when it comes to it, exits of the employee. She needs to have her eyes firmly on the HR matrix to ensure the cost involved in the HR process is kept at optimal levels. The cost of hiring, compensation, benefits, and all other costs incurred to keep an employee does not eat too much into the profit of the business. She has to ensure that. Now, let's talk about the human resources strategy, starting with the recruitment strategy. A small business owner, despite the wish to hire the best or the next best, will most times have to settle for the available. She will need to start the recruitment process with the end in mind. What is the company's vision, mission? She needs to know where the business is and where she wants it to be in the short, medium, and long term. How would anyone come to work for her? What makes her company different from other small businesses? She also needs to determine what is most important. Is it experience? Is it qualification, attitude, or knowledge, among several attributes? The small business owner that needs to do a job analysis. A job analysis is the process used to collect information about the duties, responsibilities, necessary skills, outcomes, and work environment of a particular job position. It is a detailed examination of the tasks that make up a job condition, under which it is detailed explanation of the task that make up a job, the condition under which the job is performed, and what the job requires in terms of attitude, aptitude, knowledge, skills, and the physical conditions of the employee. Here, the employer needs to know what the worker does, how and why the worker will do the job, and the qualification of the person to do the job. After this, job description has to be articulated. This is a list of the general tasks of functions and responsibilities of a position. Typically, it includes to whom the position reports, specifications such as the qualifications needed by the person in the job. A job description is usually developed from the job analysis. The objective of a job description is to have a clear outline of duties and responsibilities to make the screening process as direct and as focused as possible. When all these are properly articulated, then she will have to think of where the right candidates will come from. Typically, there's a tendency to ask friends and family to help find people to fill in the vacancy. This is a major mistake. These people do not know your business as well as you and will only send people who have harassed them for work or people they feel sorry for. They most times will not think of the best fit. However, the businesswoman can find good staff from the most unlikely places. That manager at your hairdressing salon who greets every customer like they're the most valuable asset the salon has, who goes out of her way to ensure that all aspects of the business works, and from time to time ensures that the salon staff are discharging their duties effectively and efficiently. She may just be your next admin manager or your customer service manager. And what do you know? She may be the best thing that will come to your company. If there's a need to advertise the job posting, there are a lot of internet sites that have useful tools and most likely are free. So the small business owner can spread the word around. When the resumes and credentials of candidates who have the qualifications and the experience the entrepreneur wants are all assembled, then there's the issue of interviewing. The interview process will determine the quality of hire. The entrepreneur has to come with interview questions that will bring out the skills and attitude of the right candidates. Before the interview, have a checklist. Have questions prepared and a form for noting down the candidate's response. Think through seating arrangements. Ensure that the resumes or profiles of all shortlisted candidates to be interviewed that day are on your table. Make sure the atmosphere is comfortable for everyone involved in the interviewing process. Don't pick your calls or your phone unless it's an absolute emergency. Don't keep going to supervise your subordinates or keep candidates waiting endlessly. Interview questions should involve things that will showcase the candidate's qualification, but his attitude and values are also important. When conducting the interview, the entrepreneur should keep quiet 80% of the time and ask open-ended questions to allow the candidate to express herself. She should also pay special attention to non-verbal language, which most often than not says more than words. The efficiency and effectiveness of the recruitment process will determine if the right candidate is hired. Otherwise, the entrepreneur should look forward to going through the process again a few months down the line. Now, let's talk compensation and benefit strategy. The small business owner has to think of innovative ways to be competitive when it comes to paying salaries and other benefits, as paying premium is not going to happen. Things like paying for health insurance, running a carpool, having a creche, reduction of work hours, payment of commission, addition of a certificate as an incentive, and telecommuting can be introduced. So, you are paid limited salary, but incentives are high up there. So let's talk training. The businesswoman has limited funds, especially when she's running a small business. Her staff turnover is usually high, but there's still a need for staff training. So for a small business owner to look for inexpensive but effective way of training their staff. One of it is to ask friends who have experience in different areas to come train your staff pro bono. Another is to give your service in exchange for training. You can also train yourself and pass this knowledge on to your staff, or you can rotate training amongst the staff. Choose a date and a time every week. Give any staff a topic to research and let the person train other people. Then how do you retain your staff? So you need to have a retention strategy, because there's a tendency for high staff turnover in the small businesses. So you have to be sure that the people working for them, for you, know their work is valued and they have a stake and a future in the business. There should be a succession plan in place, and the businesswoman should run the business transparently, be all-inclusive, and let each staff know the limits to which they can grow. Now, what is the cost of your HR strategy or your HR management? So we'll talk about HR matrix strategy. Measurements used to determine the value and effectiveness of HR strategies typically include such items as cost per hire, turnover rates and cost of training, human capital return on investment, labor, productivity rates and costs. You also have the benefit cost per employee. So keep an eye on the bottom line. This tells the management, the HR strategy, a matrix strategy, tells the management of an organization how much it spends on each employee from the moment the position is advertised to the moment the employee leaves. The HR matrix takes into consideration not only the tangible costs, such as how much the recruitment firm was paid for hiring the employee, the cost of training, salary, health insurance, leave allowance, and so many other benefits. It also takes into consideration the intangibles, such as the costs to the company when an employee takes medical, maternity, or any other compassionate leave, or when the employee is absent for any reason, or spends the company's time on social media. By calculating the HR matrix, the small business owner will know the cost of hiring, retaining, and if it comes to it, terminating the appointment of an employee. In all, small business owners have to articulate short, mid, and long-term human resources plans that can be updated and improved on as their companies evolve. So, what are the steps to take to ensure that your company is the first or second level of choice for candidates? Number 1, treat your employees as inexperienced equals. 2, have clearly stated and well-articulated succession plan. Nobody wants to work where they can't have the hope of getting to the top echelons of the business. So ensure that your succession plans are well articulated and your staff know about it. 3, have structure. Lay down rules and regulations. Let the employees take leave, paid leave. Involve them in decision making. Train and retrain your employees. This is one of the crucial ways you can ensure that they are equipped enough to be strategic partners in the growth of your business. Don't look for that elusive candidate who was top of his class. Look for the employee with the right attitude, resilient, who thinks and makes decisions like an entrepreneur. the businesswoman must treat her employees as she would like to be treated. Properly manage your human resources from the recruitment process, the training and development can be retained if properly managed. I hope we have learned a few things from this session. Next week, we'll talk about your financials, your cash flow, your budget, your bookkeeping, and so on and so forth. Do you have a question or comments? Kindly send this to the businesswoman, small letters, one word, the businesswoman at plzfm.com. And to listen to any of our recordings, please go to the program on www.soundcloud.com. Again, www.soundcloud.com. Search for the businesswoman on the PRZ FM 109.2 London platform. Thank you for listening. Till I come your way again next Wednesday at 8:45 p.m. I am your host, Feyikemi Odunuga, broadcasting from PRZ FM 109.2 London.